What if I told you that the vehicle you ride in every day is far more complicated, faster, and stranger than you might imagine? A machine sitting quietly in a driveway may actually contain tens of thousands of individual components working together in perfect coordination. Some cars today can travel faster than many airplanes during takeoff. The history of cars also includes surprising stories, like the very first speeding ticket and a city where cars might actually outnumber the people living there. And perhaps the biggest surprise of all, electric cars are not a modern invention at all. In fact, they existed before gasoline cars even became popular. So today, we are diving into 5 crazy vehicle facts that reveal just how fascinating the world of automobiles really is. Let's begin. Fact number 1. A car contains about 30,000 individual parts. At first glance, a car looks simple: 4 wheels, a steering wheel, an engine, and a few seats. But beneath the surface, the complexity is astonishing. Engineers estimate that a modern automobile contains roughly 30,000 separate parts. And that number includes everything from the largest components like the engine block and transmission all the way down to tiny bolts, sensors, and electrical connectors. Consider the engine alone. Inside it, pistons move up and down thousands of times per minute. Each piston is connected to a crankshaft, which converts that motion into rotational power that ultimately turns the wheels. But the engine is only the beginning. Modern vehicles contain hundreds of electronic sensors that constantly monitor temperature, speed, fuel mixture, braking pressure, and even the position of the steering wheel. Some advanced vehicles contain more than 100 electronic control units, which are basically tiny computers managing different systems. Even something as simple as a power window involves motors, switches, wiring, gears, and safety sensors. When all these pieces come together, the result is a machine capable of safely transporting people at highway speeds for hundreds of thousands of kilometers. It's almost unbelievable. 30,000 parts working together every second you drive. Fact number 2. The world's fastest car can reach speeds close to 300 miles per hour. To understand just how fast that is, imagine traveling from one city to another faster than some small airplanes. One of the most famous examples is the Bugatti Chiron Supersport 300, a hypercar designed specifically to push the limits of speed. In controlled testing, this machine reached an incredible 304 miles per hour, or about 490 kilometers per hour. At that speed, the car covers the length of a football field in less than a second. The engineering required to achieve such speed is extraordinary. The Chiron's engine produces around 1,600 horsepower, which is more than 10 times the power of many everyday cars. But power alone isn't enough. At 300 miles per hour, air resistance becomes an invisible wall pushing against the vehicle with massive force. Engineers must carefully design the car's aerodynamics so air flows smoothly around it, reducing drag and keeping the vehicle stable. Even the tires are special. They must survive extreme rotational forces while gripping the road at speeds where the smallest vibration could become dangerous. When the speedometer climbs beyond 250, then 270, then 300 miles per hour, the car is traveling faster than a commercial airplane during takeoff, and yet it remains firmly on the ground. It's a powerful reminder of how far automotive engineering has come. Fact number 3. The first recorded speeding ticket was issued in the year 1902. Today, speeding tickets are common around the world, but in the early days of automobiles, the idea of driving too fast was almost unimaginable. At the start of the 20th century, most cars could barely exceed 30 miles per hour. Roads were rough, traffic was light, and automobiles were still a new technology. Yet even then, someone managed to break the speed limit. In 1902, a driver in the United States was stopped by police for traveling 45 miles per hour. That might sound slow by modern standards, but at the time, it was considered extremely dangerous. To put that into perspective, many horse-drawn carriages traveled about 8 to 10 miles per hour. So a car moving at 45 miles per hour seemed almost uncontrollably fast. Law enforcement officers began enforcing early traffic laws as automobiles became more common. The first speeding ticket marked the beginning of modern traffic regulation. Today, more than a century later, speed limits exist in nearly every country on Earth. But it all started with that one driver traveling what people once considered a terrifying speed. Fact number 4. There are more cars in Los Angeles than people. Los Angeles is one of the most car-dependent cities in the world. Its wide highways, sprawling suburbs, and massive commuting culture have created a place where cars dominate daily life. In fact, statistics have shown that the number of registered vehicles in the Los Angeles metropolitan area can exceed the number of residents. Imagine a city where nearly every person owns a vehicle, and many households own 2 or even 3. The result is staggering. Tens of millions of cars travel through the region's road network every day. Some highways in Los Angeles are among the busiest on the planet, carrying more than 300,000 vehicles daily. During rush hour, traffic can stretch for miles. Drivers sometimes spend hours commuting between home and work. The city's transportation infrastructure has evolved around the automobile. Massive freeway interchanges weave through the city like concrete rivers. Parking garages rise multiple stories high just to accommodate the sheer number of vehicles. When viewed from space at night, the glowing highways of Los Angeles reveal a city built around motion, a place where cars are not just transportation, they are a central part of the city's identity. Fact number 5. Electric cars are actually older than gasoline-powered cars. Many people think electric vehicles are a new technology, but their history stretches back more than 180 years. In the early 1800s, inventors were already experimenting with electric-powered transportation. By the late 19th century, electric cars were surprisingly popular. In fact, around 1900, electric vehicles made up a significant portion of automobiles on American roads. They were quiet, easy to drive, and did not produce the smoke or noise associated with early gasoline engines. At the time, gasoline cars had a major drawback. Starting them required manually cranking the engine with a metal handle, a task that could be difficult and even dangerous. Electric cars, by comparison, started instantly with the push of a switch. For a brief period, they seemed like the future of transportation. But then gasoline technology improved. The invention of the electric starter motor in 1912 made gasoline cars much easier to operate. At the same time, gasoline became cheaper and allowed vehicles to travel longer distances. Gradually, electric cars faded from popularity. For nearly a century, gasoline dominated the roads. But today, electric vehicles are making a dramatic comeback. Advances in battery technology, environmental concerns, and new engineering breakthroughs are bringing electric cars back into the spotlight. In a strange twist of history, the future of transportation may actually be returning to one of its oldest ideas. The world of vehicles is full of surprises, from machines made of 30,000 parts to cars that move faster than 300 miles per hour, to a speeding ticket issued more than a century ago, cities built around millions of vehicles, and electric cars that quietly existed long before gasoline engines ruled the roads. These facts remind us that the everyday machines around us often hold incredible stories of engineering, history, and innovation that continue to evolve every single year. If you enjoyed uncovering these crazy vehicle facts, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next discovery. Because the world is full of mysteries, and sometimes the most fascinating ones are hiding in plain sight right in front of us.